Hi there YouTube friends, Carlos Orisate, and welcome back to Mom's Greek Kitchen, the channel where I teach you my mom's Greek recipes in her memory. Today we're making another classic, halva. Halva is a very simple recipe to remember. The recipe is 1, 2, 3, 4, bit, dash. And I'll explain that as we go. It's a hard dish to describe. It's somewhere between a pudding and a loaf. You'll see. Anyway, come into the kitchen and we'll make it. Yeah, it's a great little dish. It's very tasty, very easy to do. So let's go into the kitchen and I'll show you how to make it. All right? See you soon. Alright, we're back. So we are going to start our dessert. Like I said, the recipe is 1, 2, 3, 4, bit, dash. So that's 1 part butter, 2 parts cream of wheat or semolina, 3 parts sugar, 4 parts water, a bit of cinnamon, and a dash of vanilla. So we're going to start first by making our syrup. So here's the 3 parts of sugar. So I'm using a standard measuring cup. So that's 3 cups of sugar. I've got a stick of cinnamon. And I've got 4 cups of water. And we're just going to boil that into a syrup. I'm going to do that on another burner. We all know how to make syrup. So I'm going to start with 1 cup of butter that I've cut into small cubes just to make it easy to melt. Alright, so 1 cup of butter. And here I have 2 cups of, this is the rapid cream of wheat. You can use regular, rapid, quick, any of them, or semolina. It's all the same stuff basically, and for this dessert it doesn't really matter. You're basically going to saute this in the butter until it goes nice and golden brown, and then you're going to pour in your syrup. And at the same time that you add the syrup, you're going to add the vanilla. We don't want to boil the vanilla because it loses some of its potency, but you don't want to add it after because it won't stir in. Alright, and now we're just going to saute, stir fry, whatever you want to call it, while we toast our semolina. Now, some versions will add nuts. Pine nuts is a traditional addition. Walnuts. Some people use raisins. Almonds, of course. The only problem with those is if you're going to try and cut your dessert later, i.e. mold it and then cut it, that doesn't work very well because they don't cut easily. So we tended to leave it plain, and actually I like it plain better. And so now it's a little tedious. You're going to keep stirring it constantly because you don't want it to burn, because that will not taste good. And you're just going to keep stirring until it changes color, probably about 3 or 4 shades. And I'll show you what it looks like when we're closer to that point. Alright, so I'll see you soon. Alright, as you can see, we've been cooking for about 5-6 minutes, and it's gotten starting to get dark. And if you see the very bottom, you'll see it's darker. So you need to keep stirring that in, otherwise it will burn and then it will be bitter, and you don't want that. So my syrup has been boiling for about 2-3 minutes. I'm going to take the cinnamon stick out. I'm going to add the vanilla. And then I'm going to very carefully, because it's going to bubble up, pour it into this mix here, and then we'll continue to cook it. I have my molds sitting by, and actually I'm going to turn this off for a second so I can talk to you about our mold. So I've got a regular bundt pan. The only difference is this one is specifically for this recipe, because if you look very closely, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, if I can find it, it has a hole punched into it. If you don't have a hole in the bottom of your pan, the suction that is created, you'll never be able to unmold it. So this little hole here is small enough that it doesn't allow the filling to come out, but it allows enough air to go in when I'm ready to unmold it. So just before we add our mixture, we're going to run cold water through our mold, drain out most of the water, and then add our filling. So I'm going to go fill my mold, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm ready to go. So we have our syrup that's been boiling with our cinnamon stick. We're going to remove the cinnamon stick. We're going to add our teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're going to turn our heat back on. And now we're going to very carefully add our hot syrup to our hot mixture. As you can see, it bubbles up. So take your time, little by little. Once most of it is in, you can add the rest quickly. But at the beginning, take your time because you don't want to burn yourself or make a mess. Alright, there goes our liquid. So now we're just going to continue stirring. We're going to continue stirring until it thickens. And you want to continuously stir so it doesn't stick on the bottom and it stays creamy. And it will get quite thick to the point where it's making those lava-like bubbles when it's boiling. Be careful because those are extremely hot. Alright, as you can see, our mixture has thickened and it will continue to thicken. I just wanted you to see the progress while we're going. It's actually boiling quite rapidly in the middle. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit to a medium-high, because those little splashes hurt if you get too many of them on your skin. You can use a deeper pot. I just wanted you guys to be able to see what was going on, so I'm using a shallower skillet. And I should have had my apron on. If you are going to use nuts, I would be toasting them at the same time as I was toasting the cream of wheat. Or if you have already toasted ones, you could add it at this point. You want to put it in before the final thickness, because then it's much harder to stir in. So you want it to be about the texture where it leaves the side of the pan, or when you make a line through the bottom with your spoon, that you can see a little trail. So we've got a bit of ways to go yet. Smells really good. Yes, I strongly recommend a deeper pot. All right, we're almost there. Alright, you see how it's lumping up or piling up when you stir it? That's pretty much the sign you're looking for. This is a pretty full pan, so I don't know if we're ever going to get a clearing path, but I've got one, if you can see. Right? I can actually have a few seconds where, or a second at least, without it flowing back. So I'm going to turn the heat off or low. I'm going to re-wet my mold because I did it too early. And then carefully pour it into your mold. All right, great. Give it a little shake and a tap. And that is our halva and to start here. So now this will take, we like to serve it room temperature, but you can serve it warm. You can also serve it in individual bowls and stuff like that. And so everybody has a little bowl they would take away with when they're ready to eat it. You can eat it warm, you can eat it cold, and you can eat it at room temperature. I will be back when it's ready to unmold. All right, I'll see you then. All right, we're back. So this is actually the next day. I had it sitting in the fridge because last night, as you can see, it was a bit too soft to unmold. But I'm ready to go. So we're just gonna release it from the edge here a little bit. This will be at the bottom, so it doesn't really show. But just enough to break the seal between the two, the pot and the mold and the dessert. Cross your fingers for me. Alrighty, here we go. So just cover it with a plate and turn it over. second. Now, if it gets stuck, remember I have a little hole. So I can blow into it and force a little bit of air in. But I'll see if it will come out on its own. Which it doesn't seem to want to do, so I'm going to do it. There we go. Did you hear it? Alright, so our halva has dropped. I heard it. Oh, I cracked it a little bit. That was a little too forceful with my removal technique. But that's okay. It's only for our family right now. It's just the two of us. So it doesn't really matter what it looks like. So now you have an option of decorating your halva. You can decorate it with nuts or spices or whatever your little heart desires. We just tended to put just a little bit of cinnamon on top, or if it had pine nuts inside, we'd make little patterns with pine nuts on top. Again, it's up to you. You can fill it with whipped cream if you're going to serve it at a party or something like that. But I will cut into it and show you what it looks like inside. And we'll go where it's cracked. You can serve as much or as little as you like. It's stuck, I should have wet the plate. Come on. So the first slice is the worst, but there you are. So that's basically what it looks like on the inside, pretty much the same as it looks like on the outside, because it is the same mixture all over. But it's actually quite a great little dessert. Just the way it's supposed to taste. So you get the nuttiness from the toast. Excuse me. You get the nuttiness from the toasted cream of wheat. You taste the cinnamon and the vanilla. The butter, of course, gives it richness. It's nice and sweet because of the sugar. The texture is a little unusual, and I don't know what I can compare it to. It's got that, I don't want to call it gritty, but those like little individual pieces from the cream of wheat. But it's quite pleasant. I just love this stuff. You can mold it, like I said, into individual serving containers, or even into little individual molds if they are easy to unmold. But I hope you try it. As you saw, it's a very simple dessert. Easy to put together. It's very tasty. It's satisfying. You don't need a lot. It's quite filling and rich. I hope you try it. I hope you let me know if you try it. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let your friends know, and let's share the good stuff. So take care. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.